Listen to me carefully. Integrity constraints are nothing but set of rules which is used to maintain quality of information, and also when we are going to use, when to update the data, and while insertion we are going to use the integrity constraints. Yes, next. So it will used as a guard against accidental damage from the database. Is it clear why we are going for integrity constraint? Now, how many types are there? 4 types. What are that? Domain constraint, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint, key constraint. Okay, let us see one by one. What is the first one? Domain constraint. So already domain constraint, we need to remember the first word of domain is D. It deals with data types D. Okay, so see here what we need to write here. Domain constraints are defined as a definition of valid set of values for an attributes. Okay, the data type of domain includes like string, characters, time, date, okay, all the currencies. So the value of attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. If you observe this table, ID is there, name is there, semester is there, age is there. Okay, so see here all the columns, all the rows. ID means the data type is integer. Yes or no? Name means the data type is varchar. Semester also varchar. Age integer. If you observe here, this ID column is correct, valid. Next, coming to the name. Yes, semester also fine. Okay, coming to the age, we have declared while creating the table as age as a integer. But in this row, we have varchar. Is it valid table? No. Such type of things we call it as a domain constraints. Is it clear? Yes or no? Are you getting my point? Each and every one, ma. Next, what is the second one? Referential entity. Change అయిపోయింది. సరే. Entity integrity constraint. We all know what is meant by entity. Yes or no? Now, see here, entity integrity constraint states the primary key. Primary key. We all know what are the conditions of primary key. What are the conditions of primary key? It should not be null or empty, or it should have only the unique values. It should have only the unique values. Okay, so the primary key is used to identify the individual rows. Okay, and it has the null values. Whenever we have null values, if we keep the primary key, means it will go. Is it clear? Yes or no? Now the example is employee ID. Okay, employee name, salary is there. So for this column I have kept primary key. For which one? Employee ID. That means it should satisfy 2 conditions, right? So it should not be null or empty, and it should have unique values. But in this column, empty space is there. So will this table is valid? No. Okay. So such type of things are called as entity integrity constraints. Is it clear? Am I clear? Next, what is the third one? What is referential integrity constraint? Again, we'll get the concept of foreign key. Okay, what is foreign key? We should take the reference of the other table, take the reference of the other table as a primary key column. Is it clear? Yes or no? Now see here, the table, the first table contains the employee details. Okay, and second table is department. Okay, here taking the reference of department number which contains the primary key. Is it clear? Yes or no? ఇలా లైన్ ఉందంటే ఏంటమ్మా? నిన్న key attributes. Okay. So not allowed as a department number. Here it is taking as a reference of the other table as a foreign key. Is it clear? Yes or no? What is the last one? What is key constraint? Keys are nothing but primary key, foreign key, candidate key, super key. Okay. For this table, I have kept for this column, for ID column, I have kept a primary key as a constraint. Okay. So it should have unique values and it should contain only a, sorry, it should not have any null values. It should be a unique value. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next one. Check constraint. See here, check constraint. So check constraint is used to check the value which is entered in a record. Now see here, what is this table? Yes, look at here. Everyone look at here. Chudanamma. What is the table? Last. Kanpisundamma? Yes or no? Last benches. So what is this table? Table name? Customer table name, which consists of ID, name, age, address. Okay? Salary. Okay? Is it clear? Yes or no? So see here, for ID, as usual, data type is integer and they have kept not null. That means what here? We already know what is null values. It is a special or unknown does not value. If we keep not null means what will happen? This ID column will not allow the null values. Okay, null values. Next, name varchar 20 and also same, not null better. Enduku? So this name column will also not allow the null values. Okay, next, age, integer. Okay, as usual, the data type is integer. Here, what is the condition they have kept? Not null. Check age greater than or equal to 18. So this type of things we call it as a check constraints. What we call check constraints. Okay, ఎలా చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది? నేను ఇచ్చినప్పుడు suppose see here. Look at here, everyone. Stop writing. How many columns we need for this one? Customer. What is the first column? ID. Next one, name. Next one, age. Next one, address. Next, salary. Salary only. Okay. Primary key column. Primary key column kadamma. Now, so for ID, it should have some values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even it is repeated also okay. Yes or no? The constraint enti only not null. Repeated unna okay. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, name. Some name ABC. For this also repeated is okay. Yes or no? Why? Only it should, the column should not have any null values. That is the constraint. Next, third one, age. Not null undakudadu kada. What is the condition they have given? Age should be greater than or equal to 18. Greater than or equal to 18. That means we can write 18. Yes or no? Next, 19, 20. I have given 15 and 21. Now what will happen? While entering this age only, it will not take. Why? In fourth record, it will stop here. Yes or no? చెప్పండి ఎందుకు? But here our condition is age column should be greater than or equal to 18. But what I have given here, it won't accept. So the records will be inserted up to here only. It will show the error. While giving 15, it show error. Is it clear? Yes or no? Now salary, some address, address, salary column, and it should be a primary key. Okay, primary key ante same salary undacha primary key ki? No. For each and every person, it should contain a different value, different salary. Is it clear? So what is check constraint? It is based on the requirement of the user. It is going to check the constraint. What is the condition here? Check age greater than or equal to 18. If at all the value is greater than or equal to 18 is there, means it is going to take the value. Otherwise, it will display error. Is it clear? Yes or no? So write down this one, check constraint. Fast. Make it fast. Finished? Note down this example also. Okay. By this, you can say the ER diagram also. What is the ER diagram for this one? What is an entity here? Yes, what is an entity? What is an entity according to this table or according to this syntax? I'm asking what is entity here? Customer is an entity. What is ID? Attribute, right? Customer. What are attributes? ID, name, age, address, salary. Is it clear? So we are having one key constraint also. For that we need to underline. Yes or no? For salary. Is it clear? Yes or no? So before creating the syntax, you need to draw the ER diagram. Is it clear? So this is about check constraint. Finished? What is schema? Database schema. What is database schema? Logical structure of a database is called as a schema. Okay. So next concept, that only database schema. Yes, ma, don't make noise. What is schema? This will be already seen in last class. Yes or no? What is schema? A logical structure of a database is known as schema. Logical design of the database is known as a schema. What is database instance? It is a collection of information which is stored at a particular moment called as a instance. Okay, we can call it as a snapshot also. Snapshot of data in the database at a given instant in time. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, a relation schema consists of some list of attributes and corresponding domains. And also this will follow some programming notations for a given table. This may change with the time. In instance, the data will be changed. Today, some 500 records are there. Tomorrow, it may change. Yes or no? Based on the situation or conditions, it is going to change in time. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next. నోట్ చేసుకుంటారా? Make it fast. I'll give only 2 minutes of time. Make it fast. In second unit, integrity constraints are very important, ma. Definitely you will get in your examinations. Okay. Make it fast. Finish. So see here, schema can be written like this. Suppose take the department relation. So in department, department name, building, budget is a schema. Yes or no? In department relation, what is the schema here? Department name, building, budget. Is it clear? Next. So now tell me the schema for this one. Course ID, section ID, semester, year, building, room number, time slot. Is it clear? Yes, am I clear? Yes or no? Last benches. అర్థం కాకపోయినా ఏం ఎస్ మ్యామ్ అని ఊరికే అంటున్నారా? Now, so this is an student table. Yes. Next one is teacher table. Okay. ID, course ID, schema, section ID, semester, year. Okay. So this is a schema for the teacher relation. Is it clear? What is schema? Logical structure of a database is said to be a schema. What is instance? Collection of collection of information is stored at a particular moment is called as a instance. Next. So next important concept is keys. So for what we are using keys, it is used to uniquely identify any record or a row of a data from the table. Why we need to use the keys? To identify uniquely and also uniquely identifying the row of a data from the table. Okay. So how many types of keys are there? Mainly we are using 4 types, but we are having minimal key also. More than 5 we have. Is it clear? This also check constraint also comes under which one? Key concept only. Is it clear? Yes or no? So primary key. What is primary key? We already know primary key will have 2 conditions. One is it should not be null or empty. It should have unique values. That is why we call it as primary key. So it is the first key which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely. Okay, so this is the technical definition of primary key. Okay, so which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely, and this is not most suitable for the list to become a primary key. And also it is a single attribute of a collection. It has a unique value. It cannot be null. No duplicate values. Okay, so for this table, create table. What is table name here? Employee. What are the attributes? Employee ID. What is the data type? Integer. Size. What I have to give now? Primary key. Comma. What is the second attribute? Employee name. Varchar. Like this. Okay. For this all you need to write. Is it clear? Yes or no? So this is the primary key. Next one. Next, candidate key. Yes, don't talk. Listen to me. Stop writing. Stop writing. So candidate key, it is an attribute or set of an attributes which can uniquely identify a tuple. Uniquely identify a tuple. Tuple is also said to be a records. Okay, records. So here the remaining attributes except the primary key is considered as a candidate key. The candidate keys are stronger as the primary key. What is the meaning of this one? Here, except primary key, remaining all attributes we call it as a candidate key. Is it clear? Yes or no? Except primary key, remaining all keys or all attributes we call it as a candidate key. Is it clear? Yes or no? So what is the difference between primary key and candidate key? Primary key is having two conditions and candidate key will not be a primary key. Why? Because except primary key, remaining all key attributes are called as a candidate key. Yes, am I clear? Yes or no? కొంతమంది చెప్తున్నారు ఏమైందమ్మా మిగతా వాళ్ళకి అర్థమైందా అవలేదా? సో నోట్ డౌన్ దిస్ వన్. మేక్ ఇట్ ఫాస్ట్. ప్రైమరీకి తెలుసు కదమ్మా, ఎందుకు మళ్ళీ ఇది రాయండి. సెకండ్ ఇది రాయండి. క్యాండిడేట్ కి కీ ఏంటో చెప్పాలా మళ్ళీ? ఆల్ దిస్ వి కాల్ ఇట్ as key only మా. Key are nothing but an attribute. Okay, and attributes. Key constraints. నిన్న చెప్పాను కదా key constraints concept. Is it clear? Yes or no? So got the difference between primary key and candidate key? Yes or no? Make it fast. Next. Make it fast. Next, third one is super key. Super key. Next. I said to write, but some people are talking. Next. So see here. This is also used to identify uniquely. This is also used to identify uniquely a tuple. Okay. So super key is a superset of a candidate key. These are interrelated ma. Super key is a superset of candidate key. What is candidate key? Except primary key, remaining all keys are said to be a candidate key. Yes or no? Now super key is a superset of candidate key. Let us see with one example. Employee, in the employee table, employee ID, employee name is there. Okay, so this name of the two peoples can be same. Yes or no? Name of the two people can be same, but in IDs it will have a unique value. Yes or no? So here the employee table, employee ID comma employee name, name of the two employees can be same, but their employee ID cannot be same. Employee ID cannot be same. Hence this combination can also be a key. Is it clear? So example chaptan student. Let me create this table first. Create table. Let's table is before creating a table, employee table. This is an employee table which consists of employee ID. So this is employee ID as a primary key. Yes, employee ID is a primary key. Now employee name, employee age, salary, department, some department number is there. Apart from primary, sorry, what is candidate key? What is candidate key? Except primary key, remaining all keys are said to be a candidate key. Coming to super key is superset of candidate key. Okay, candidate key. Here we are taking employee ID. From this employee, we can get the data of employee name, comma, employee age also. Yes or no? Taking this as superset, we are getting the data of employee name and age. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, employee ID. We can get age, salary also, and name. Yes or no? Next, employee ID, department ID, and contact number also we can write. So this is a super key. It is a super set of candidate key. Okay. So by the recognition, like primary key. What is a primary key? Primary key, we can uniquely identify a tuple. That is the first point, right? Uniquely identify a tuple. So from primary key, I am getting the information of other two columns. So this is called as super key. Superset of a candidate key. Is it clear? Yes or no? So all the employee ID is there. All the remaining keys consider as a super key. Is it clear? Yes or no? Make it fast. Finished? What is the next one? Foreign key. Already we know what is meant by foreign key. What is foreign key? It should be a, whatever we are taking the references from the previous table, it should be a primary key. Okay, it should be a primary key. Next, foreign key. Look at here, stop writing. Everyone stop writing. Foreign keys are the column of table which is used to point the primary key of another table. Okay, of another table. Here we add the primary key of the department table to the department ID as a new attribute in the employee table. Here two tables are there. What are the two tables? Employee and department. In employee, which one is the primary key? ID is the primary key. In department, department ID is. So I want to take the department ID as a reference and I need to add to the employee ID. So here, if you observe, in this table, we have how many attributes or how many records? This one, employee ID, employee name, passport number. Now look at here. In employee table, we have employee ID as a column, employee name, passport number, license number, SSN. Yes or no? According to this table, I have drawn this table. Yes? Next, what is the next table? Second table, department ID and department name. Which table? Department table. Okay. What is our foreign key? It will take the reference from the table and it will going to add to the other table, taking as reference from the previous or other table and adding into the existing table. So this, whatever the taking as reference, that is should be a primary key. That column should be a primary key. If you observe here, which is primary key? This column is a primary key, department ID. So department ID. Is it clear? So what is syntax? How to write this foreign key? Foreign key. What is our column name here? Foreign key. What is our column name? Department ID references from which table? From which table I am taking this one, ma? Department table. Department. Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay. Foreign key from the previous table taking as reference. Okay. References and the table name is department. Is it clear? Yes or no? So now tell me, what is primary key? It should satisfy two conditions. It should not be null or empty. It should have unique values. What is candidate key? Except primary key, in the table, all the keys are considered as a candidate key. Third one, what is super key? Superset of candidate key. Okay, is it clear? Next, what is the fourth one? What is foreign key? Other table. Yes or no? Next. Now see the differences. We already know the conditions, but see the differences between primary key and candidate key. Between primary key and candidate key. What is the first point here? primary key is a minimal super key, so that only one primary key will be there in a relation. In a table, only one primary key will be there in a column. Is it clear? In a table or a relation, only one primary key will be there. Is it clear? Yes or no? Whereas in candidate key, while in a relation, there can be more number of candidate keys. Yes or no? Is it clear? Next, what is the second point? Any attribute of primary key cannot contain null value. Because our condition is it should not contain null value or empty values. Here, while in candidate key, any attribute can contain null values. If you take name, it can contain a null values. If I am giving not null means what will happen? It will not have null values. Is it clear? So, primary key law, not null concept will be there. Whereas in candidate key, it may have or it may contain null values. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, primary key can be optional to specify any relation. Okay? It is an optional. Next, without candidate key, there cannot be a specified in any relation, because we know that except primary key, remaining all keys called as candidate key. So here, without candidate key, there will not be any relation or any table. Is it clear? ఒక్క నిమిషం చెప్తాను చూడండి అమ్మా ఎగ్జాంపుల్. Suppose take student table. In student table, roll number, name, contact number and email ID is there. Okay. So I didn't mention any primary key in this table. Will this table is valid or not? Yes. Without primary key also we can run the table. We can get this table. We can execute the table. Yes or no? So without candidate key, we cannot run. What is candidate key? Except primary key, remaining all keys are said to be a candidate key. So without candidate key, we cannot execute the table. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next one. What is the next one? Primary key specifies the important attribute for a relation. Okay. Candidate key specifies the key which can qualify for a primary key. Okay. Next, it is confirmed that a primary key is a candidate key, but it is not confirmed here in the candidate key. Next. So see the differences between super key and candidate key. What is super key? So it is a set of attributes which is used to identify tuples or uniquely identifies all attributes in a relation. Okay, all attribute it is going to identify. Which one? Super key. What is the second one? Candidate key is a proper subset of super key. Okay, we can write the candidate key definition also like this. Candidate key is a proper subset of a super key. All super keys cannot be a candidate key. Yes or no? All super keys cannot be a candidate key, but all candidate keys can be a super keys. Okay, so various super keys are together makes a criteria to select the candidate key. Yes or no? Super key ante em cheppanu, by taking as a primary key we can identify remaining tuples. Yes or no? So EMP ID has taken and EMP age we can retrieve. Okay, so various candidate keys together makes the criteria to select the primary key. And here also one more point is there. In this relation, a number of super keys are more than a candidate keys. Okay, while in relation number of candidate keys are less than the super key. Is it clear? Next, super key attributes can contain null values, whereas candidate key can also contain a null values. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, this we already seen. What is entity? What is an entity? Entity is a real world thing or an object. Okay, it is represented in rectangle box. Okay, relationship. What is relationship? It is an association between two entities. It is an association between two entities. Okay, the shape of the relationship is diamond shape. Next, attribute. What is an attribute? The property which describes an entity called as an attribute. Attribute is represented in which shape? ఇక్కడ కనపడుతుంది కదమ్మా, మళ్ళీ రాంబస్ అంటారు. ఎలిప్స్. నెక్స్ట్, వాట్ ఈస్ వీక్ ఎంటిటీ? And it is dependent on other entity. Okay, so how it is going to represent? Double rectangle. So weak entity relationship. Okay, multi-valued attribute. Example for multi-valued attribute is degrees, language zone. Okay, so this is an example of composite attribute. What is composite attribute? It can be divided into further parts. Name is divided into further parts like first name, middle name, last name. Okay, so it is like, what is this symbol? Dashed ellipse. Single valued attribute, multi-valued attribute, composite attribute, derived attribute. This we call it as a derived attribute, not descriptive. What is descriptive attribute? Which we get from the relationship since. Okay, next, so database languages. So before going to see the database languages, let us see domain types in SQL. I'll explain these database languages in the afternoon session clearly. Okay, by writing comments I'll explain. Don't worry, database languages I'll explain in afternoon session. As of now, we see the domain types in SQL. Is it clear? అయిపోయిందా? లేదు 5 minutes. Domain types in SQL. So char, what is char? Characteristics. It is a fixed length of character string with user specified length n. Okay, what is user specified length here? N. Okay, next, varchar. So it is a variable length character string which user specified maximum length is n. Okay, so when we are going to use the varchar? When we are going to use varchar? Only for names? Only for names? So varchar, it is a combination of, we can use numbers as well as for characters also. Is it clear? Yes or no? For integer as well as characters, we can use varchar. So why we are not using character means in some servers it will not support character. That's why I'm using in my SQL varchar. Is it clear? Yes or no? So integer, as usual, we know integer, it is a finite subset of that is dependent on the machine. Okay, small int. We can also write small int. Okay, small integer type values will get. Next, numeric. So here coming to the numeric, it is a fixed point of number. So it is going to display like this, numeric 3 comma 1. That means it is going to allow from where to where, 44.5, and sorry, it is going to store exactly 44.5 values. If at all I am giving numeric 3 comma 1 means, is it clear? But not for 444.5. Next, real double. What is real? What is double? It is also one type of integer only, right? It can allow integer values double. Even point decimal values it will be allowed. Real and this one. If at all we are using real means it will round up the values. Precision numbers. Is it clear? This we'll learn in third unit actually. Strings, different types of strings, different types of characters. What is the absolute value? We will see in unit 3. Yes. Float. It is a floating point number, and varchar can store up to how many bytes? Sometimes they may ask in your interviews, ma. That's why note down this one. Varchar can store up to how many bytes? 2000 bytes of a character. While varchar 2 can store up to how many bytes? 4000 bytes. Okay. If we declare a data type as a varchar, it will occupy the space of null values also. That's why we'll keep a constant as a not null. Okay. మనం data type varchar ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు it can occupy the values also. So that's why we will keep one constant as a not null. If we are giving varchar to data type, it will not occupy the spaces of null values. Is it clear? Yes or no? So this DDL, DML, DCL, I'll explain in afternoon session. Up to this clear? Yes or no? Now you can ask the questions. Any doubts? So how many types of constraints are there? What are that? Domain constraint. Domain constraint means data types. Okay. Remember the word domain means data types. Okay. Next, entity integrity constraint. Primary key. Okay. Primary key. Next, what is the next one? Referential integrity is nothing but specifies the two tables taking as reference from the one table. Okay. Taking as a primary key of the column. Next, what are key constraints? Like primary key we can keep, foreign key, super key. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next. What is primary key? Now what is check constraint? Based on the conditions, while inserting the data, it is going to check. Okay. Next, what is not null? Not null. Not null going to specify. It is a condition. It is going to specify the value should not be null. Okay. So what are null values? It is a special value, null value, or we can say it is a unknown, does not exist. Is it clear? Yes or no? Next, we'll see the database languages in afternoon session. After that, I'll explain all commands one by one. How to create, how to insert, okay? How to delete, how to modify, how to modify the structure also. Okay? Is it clear? Yes or no? May doubts unte adagandamma. Right from yesterday topics. First unit మొత్తం clear? Or having any doubts? Yes or no? No na, yes sir. No na? So how to create a table? What is the syntax? Create table, table name. Next you need to say like this: field, data type, size. Okay? Field, data type, size. Field 1, data type, size. Field 2, data type, size. Okay? So for each end of the statement, you need to give semicolon, not comma. For each end of the statement, you need to give semicolon. For each record, after each record, you can give comma. Is it clear? Yes or no? Now tell me how to insert a value. What is the syntax? Insert into table name values. Insert into table name values. After that, we need to enter the fields. Okay, I'll show everything. Don't worry. After explaining DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, I'll show the lab part also. Okay. Get your laptops and download MySQL Server 5.0 or 8.0. Okay. Just click one click, give one click. After that, it will take 2 minutes of time and click on next, next. It will ask password also. Give root. మీ విషమ్మ మీరు ఏదైనా ఇవ్వచ్చు ఓకే బెటర్ టు గివ్ రూట్ ఆర్ డబల్ ఓటీ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ఇన్స్టాల్ దట్స్ ఇట్ విల్ బి డౌన్లోడెడ్ ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ ఎస్ ఆర్ నో I stopped.